Hey all, welcome to Bullets and Brass. I'm Remy. Today we are talking about practice, specifically using a 22 conversion, in this case of a 1911, as a practice tool to improve your general accuracy and performance. Now, if you're using a full caliber gun, 45, a 9, even a 380, there's a lot more recoil. There's a lot more motion. There's a lot more going on. And I apologize for my heat making a ton of noise because I'm sure the new microphone picked that up. So when you fire with a normal, for lack of a better term, a centerfire caliber, there's a lot more motion. It's pretty much impossible to keep the gun perfectly steady and not have it move. In fact, realistically, it's impossible. And one of the most common errors people make is that they try to. So what you see is they go bang, bang, and their shots all hit low. Now, in an ideal world, you would be able to perfectly hold and ride the recoil and it wouldn't move. You'd be pushing down with the right amount of force and it would counterbalance it. Now, to some extent, the top shooters do. The top competitive and combat shooters have learned how to do that. But really what they're doing is they're using their muscles and their body structure, mostly bone structure, to put more mass behind the gun. It doesn't just have to lift their hands, it has to lift their arms and their shoulders, and their whole body has to move. So what happens is the gun moves a tiny bit, and by the time it started to move, the slide is going back forward, and the momentum is shifted, and the whole gun just sort of bobbles. And their sight picture just goes pop, 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 the tiniest little bit. Now, that's great, but how do you get there? And really the question is, for most of us, how do we practice enough without blowing our ammo budget out of the water to achieve that kind of competence or anything close to it? Because really, most of us are not trying to be one of the top 0.1% of competitive shooters. So my answer to all that is, and pretty much always has been, a 22 conversion. There are plenty of good 22 pistols, 22 rifles. Yes, you can get a dedicated 22 pistol. If you do, try to get one that has the same general feel, grip angle, grip size, sighting setup, and safety setup. Because, for example, I've got a safety that goes up and down right here at my thumb. Okay? Now, if I use, say, a Glock with a 22 conversion, the skills I learned there don't as completely apply to my 1911. My day-to-day carry is a 1911, a little compact one, but the rules are the same. So I want to practice the most. I want to focus that practice with a conversion on a 1911. I probably put more ammo through this than all my other guns combined. And it helps. Now, I've been slacking lately, I freely admit. If you saw the video I posted the other day, I could definitely use more practice. I was a little slow to notice that it had failed to fully feed the next round. And I was not noticing that I was empty, which on this is tough because it doesn't lock back. I was getting enough jamming issues at the start. The slide was kind of dirty, and I was having trouble keeping track because I was more distracted by the fact that, did it feed? Did it not feed? Is it fully in battery? But once that cleaned up, I was doing better. And ironically enough, I think I put all of the failures on video in the video I posted. I edited that. It was like 10 minutes of video. And then I went and shot inside for like an hour and a half with a friend of mine. And we went through hundreds of rounds of ammo, mostly 22. And in the end, I'm like, I think every single time it failed or I had an issue is on film in the first couple minutes. 22 is like that. It is a very low power cartridge. If you get a conversion, buy extra magazines. Don't wait, buy extra magazines. Have a few. It helps. You can practice reloading drills. You can practice failure drills properly. 22 is a great way to practice without spending a fortune. And here's the real key. When you goof with 22, it is almost always immediately apparent. If you shank a shot with 9mm or 45, the gun bounces and your goof is kind of hidden in the motion. You can't be sure. So why is that shot over there, or there, or there, or there? What did I do? If you do it with a 22, there's no hiding it. If you do this, bang, bang. Well, why'd the gun go downward? The gun doesn't move. When you watch that video, you get to watch the slide go. There's a tiny bit of motion, but not much. Well, if the gun moves, if it jerks to the left or right or up or down, you know it was you. You know that you did that. It was something in your form that you need to work on. If you do it consistently, well, now you know where your problem is, or a problem at least. You know that's something to focus on. And you can because you can see when you do it. If you're using it for rifle, I'm less strict in my head about the conversion versus another rifle. I think rifle fundamentals are something that translate almost across the board. You're practicing breathing control. You're practicing trigger control. You're practicing the fundamentals of pressure into the rifle, pull it into you, don't push your shoulder forward. You know, all these little things that add up to perfect shot, less than perfect shot. 22 lets you see and practice the skills. You know that if you make a mistake, it was you. It was your skills that you failed. So, we're running a little long here. I'm going to have to edit that down and cut something out. So take care, have fun, stay safe, y'all, and keep practicing.